Hi, I'm John Fitzgerald and welcome to this week's edition of Team Wealth Builders. And yes, interest rates have come down again. No points for guessing why, how and when. It was well telegraphed. Now, it's what the Reserve Bank have been saying that's more interesting than anything else, and the reason why interest rates are where they're at. Australia's second biggest export today, believe it or not, is bonds. That is, government bonds. We sell more government bonds than we do coal. $58 billion worth of bonds in the last 12 months. We only sold $48 billion worth of coal, and coal's been one of our major exports for so many years. Now, this is a real interesting point because, as Glenn Stevens has said, the one big problem around the world today is that money is looking for a yield. That is, money all around the Western world is looking for a currency or a yield that's going to be dependable and stable. And this is very, very interesting because what it means is so much foreign funds actually coming into Australia. Positive for us because this is at a time where we have low interest rates, but they're talking about much, much lower interest rates than even today. And that's been telegraphed just in the last couple of weeks by the Reserve Bank itself. So very, very interesting times. And when I'm talking about lower interest rates, the cheapest rates in over 50 years. These are just amazing times. From an economic perspective, we've got to see it as the driver of the economy through 2013. The driver to get the Australian dollar down to promote our agriculture and promote our manufacturing, which is essentially what America's done. America's Reserve Bank rate, or equivalent, is 0.25% and fixed at that until the end of 2014. So what that's done is devalue the American dollar, but it's promoted the Australian dollar to now we're one of the most stable currencies in the world. And the effect for us is going to be, in 2013, the cheapest money you will ever be able to borrow in your life. That's amazing. It's really amazing. Now, finishing 2012, saying we're going to have the cheapest money you're going to be able to borrow in your life at a time when we have massive turnover of sales, and particularly if I look at auction clearance rates in Sydney and Melbourne. Sydney in the month of November and Melbourne in the month of November had over 60% clearance rates, which is 20% up, but Melbourne auctioned nearly 4,000 homes. Massive number of houses to auction and clear. And it just shows you the demand and the pent-up demand for real estate. AFG, which is one of our finance groups, Australian Financial Group, they had their biggest October ever. They said on record. Now that is just amazing for applications. So there really is some activity in the market. I've kept on saying we're going to have the biggest boom in Australian history. It started. Now there's a clean-up, a massive clean-up of what we call dead wood, which was all the old properties, all the developers that have gone broke, all the people who are sick of property. But now you're going to see some real sparks start to fly, and it's starting already in 2012, but certainly with interest rates now coming down, with overseas funds coming into this market, you're in for a wild ride, and this is such a positive time. I'm so excited about 2013. Thanks for listening to me.